Well, thanks for watching this episode of Revelations. It's a series on evangelism and discipleship, hoping that you get a couple revelations that God is still working and is a part for you to be playing in the body of Christ. Today we're in Delray Beach, Florida, visiting Transformations Treatment Center, and with me is the clinical director, Dr. Maureen Esposito. Thank you so much for letting our team spend a couple days with you guys.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
We're talking about addiction and recovery, and there's your traditional 12 steps. There's some Christian programs out there like Celebrate Recovery. And what I love about Transformations Treatment Centers, you guys are really marrying the best of both worlds. Talk a little bit about the center and the approach, maybe the vision for Transformations Treatment Center.
I like to think of it as a facility that really ministers to all of our population. Our population is both male and female, over 18, both Christian and secular programs we have here. We like to meet people where they're at, so that if a client comes in and they're not quite sure, or they had some difficulties within churches, they're in a safe environment where they can really take a look at what has happened in their lives, what has happened to their families, and really work in a Christian atmosphere to overcome the addictions that they have.
Maybe give our viewers an idea of the types of programs, or maybe the types of addictions that people come with. It's not just drugs and alcohol as well. There's all kinds of issues.
Right, people come in for a variety of reasons. They may be drinking too much. They may have had DUIs. They may have had a lot of problems in their marriages because of drinking. We do see a lot of young people, and a lot of the designer drugs are involved. Pot is always a staple that usually is a gateway drug to many other drugs. Right now we're having a terrible, terrible time with the opiates. We think of heroin as a drug of the past. It's alive and well here in Delray and all over the country. We have crystal meth addicts. We have people that have been involved with drugs for a very long time, and others that have just been introduced to them more recently through their peer groups, in schools, in the neighborhoods, and so forth. We have people who are coming from very, very good families where addiction doesn't discriminate. A wife may be in trouble with pills. That's a very popular and common drug of choice among women. It's a drug that looks legitimate because you can go to any doctor, and especially in South Florida we have many, many doctors that will prescribe opiates for the slightest of ailments, a toothache, a stomach ache, a migraine headache, and so forth. And many times people innocently get addicted because they do have a legitimate pain, but once the drug gets into the system, it takes on a life of its own.
And professionals too, and it may just go a long time before, I guess, the outward symptoms or a flag is raised.
Well, I think we see a variety of functional alcoholics, functional drug addicts. And in the beginning of an addiction, you can function. You can go to work, you can maintain your household, you can pay your bills, but as the addiction progresses, the functioning becomes less and less. We have professionals coming in, we have physicians, we have attorneys, we have therapists and teachers and so forth from all walks of life. So again, the addiction doesn't discriminate. It can take the young, the old, the rich, the poor, a variety of people.
Very good. Hey, stay tuned. We're going to get some more interviews from folks that are working with Transformations Treatment Center to hear about how God is using this organization to help set the captives free. Keep watching.
The real vision and heartbeat of Transformations is mind, body, and spirit. It's improving all of those. We have the best groups, I think, of any treatment center around. We have 4 or 5 group options at once. We have a great clinical team. We have beautiful properties. We teach them to eat right, live right, and sleep right. And we've been seeing phenomenal results.
First and foremost, we always start with where the person is at. There's a lot of pain that drove us to addiction in the first place. We have a lot of specialized trauma groups here, whether it be grief and loss, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. We have very specific classes that work to heal from those traumas. So we are very different in the fact that we don't just address your addiction, we address the trauma that you've been through that cater to that addiction and the chronic relapses that happen.
And the therapist also guides clients in the right direction of how to avoid relapse.
There are different groups for that. I know that all the therapists incorporate that into the client's treatment. We also encourage a holistic approach to treatment. The 12-step program. We have an IOP program as well.
That's true. Family involvement is important, though, and of course we have a family program that is dedicated to that. They can come in and sit with their family member and start learning and healing together.
I feel the heartbeat of Transformations Treatment Center is in its staff. Everybody here is expressing themselves in a loving and tolerant and kind manner all the time. I think all the clients feel it, and everything I hear back when they're leaving is just the utmost gratitude for what they've received through Transformations.
You know, we don't do very well in reaching out for help. Well, the calls, generally speaking, come in from significant others, their wives, or family members. We do get some from first responders themselves.
We're there to provide help for everyone that needs it. So regardless if they're qualified for our program or not, we're going to be able to find them the best help and the best resources to fit their needs.